Hi, my name is Ariely. I'm a professor at Duke University. I teach psychology and behavioral economics, basically trying to understand what really motivates people, how people function, how people make decisions. And I want to reflect with you for a few minutes about one of the biggest problems we have, which is self-control. There's a very interesting analysis that was done recently that asked the question of what do people die from, right? And how many of those deaths are caused by mistakes that we make, these mistakes in human judgment and decision making. And about 100 years ago, this was about 10%. Think about how could you kill yourself 100 years ago by mistake. Maybe you pushed a rock over yourself or got into some bad accident. A few years ago, this percentage was a little bit more than 45%. Why? Because over the years, as we've designed new technologies, we've created new ways for us to kill ourselves. Think about diabetes. Think about obesity. Think about smoking. Think about texting while driving. We're creating all of those technologies without really understanding what human nature is, and often those technologies are incompatible with us. They create a situation in which we have to have a tremendous capacity to make a good decision, and if we fail, the mistake could be quite substantial. Think about it. Imagine texting and driving. If you text and walked, right, while you were walking, what could happen? You would run into a pole, not a big deal. If you're driving 100 kilometers an hour, all of a sudden you can kill yourself and you can kill other people. So as we create new technologies, we basically stress our human ability to a higher degree. Now, if you think about all of those problems of self-control, of temptation, of misbehavior, the question is, what do we believe is the human condition? And I personally believe that what is happening is that we do have moments of clarity. We do have moments in which we look at ourselves and we say, I don't want to be obese, I don't want to die from diabetes, I don't want to text while driving. And those are important moments for us to understand what we really want from ourselves in the long term. But then we have our short-term self, which is tempted. We see cheesecake, we see a movie rather than going to the gym, our phone vibrate while we're driving, and all of those things are moments in which we don't take our long-term consideration into account and we fail to temptation at the moment. And I think the role of both regulation and technology is basically to get us to not be the people that we are in the moment when we fail to temptation, and try to get us to be more of the people that we are when we think long-term about our goals. So you can sit at home, maybe it's before New Year, and you have all kinds of ideas for yourself. That's great. Now what we need is a way to take these hopes and aspirations and wishes and implement into something. You can think about people as having two sides. We have the long view, rational self that comes to play once in a while, and we have the short-term, irrational, myopic, emotional self that often misbehave and causes tremendous damage to ourselves and to others. The question is, in this Jekyll and Hyde kind of dichotomy, who is the right one? And I personally think that the right one is mostly the long-term side of ourselves that think long-term and has the more rational, more thoughtful consideration. And what we should do is figure out how do we suppress these short-term desires. So my recipe for humanity, I guess, is to figure out where our short-term wishes and aspirations and impulses drive us astray and think about ways to overcome them. And I think if we'll do it, we'll get to a much better place. I hope you share your thoughts and considerations and also your disagreement. Take care.